can't take anymore. Take away, take away, take away, take away this origin.
Hey, it's Rich, and of course I have with me Carson, of course. And today's adventure is something really exciting. This is something I've been waiting a long time to do. How old are you?
11.
11. I've been waiting 11 years to do this. I'm just kidding. I knew how old you are. Tonight, we are going to see my favorite band ever. You want to tell them who we're going to see?
Social Distortion.
Yeah, we can't wait. We just got here. We're just kind of hanging out in the parking garage and getting ready to go into the venue. I've never been to this place before. It's in kind of like a convention center. I think like a ballroom kind of place. It should be interesting. They do hold a lot of concerts though. We're excited for the show tonight. Probably gonna hang out like mid to the back with Carson. I'm excited as heck that he's going to be seeing his first Social Distortion concert, but I don't quite know if you're ready for the mosh pit yet. We may have to wait on that in a couple years. So we'll rewind a little bit, kind of see how we got here, and then we're going to head into the venue. Equipment-wise, I hope this works out today. We don't have any microphones or anything, pretty much just for convenience. We're pretty much filming this on GoPro and the DJi Osmo Action, so I hope that the volumes and stuff are good. Inside, I'll probably have to use my phone. Maybe you can get some footage we can use too. What do you think of that? So
yeah,
we'll try it. We're gonna have a good time. Come along with us. We're gonna check out Social Distortion. So what's your favorite band? And even more so, if you're a musician, do you have any like influential stories or anything behind a band? You know, have you ever heard the stories about how people saw like, you know, the Beatles performing on Ed Sullivan's show, or they saw Elvis on TV? I kind of have one of those stories. I was too young, you know, I grew up in the late 80s where it was mostly like hair metal, and I gotta admit, you know, my music tastes run the board. I love my hair metal. I love Poison, Motley Crue, Warrant, Skid Row. I'm all about it. But in the mid 80s and late 80s, the 70s punk scene was kind of diminishing, and it became more of an influence. And when I started getting into music, I remember coming across this band, Social Distortion, and their current album at the time was called Prison Bound. And I remember, you know, it was very plain. It just literally just had the cover, said Social Distortion, LA Prison Bound on it, and looked at their back catalog, and of course at that time saw they only ever had one other album out, which was a pure 10-song, 23-minute long punk CD, Mommy's Little Monster. But Prison Bound just had a different sound to it. It was kind of like if the Rolling Stones tuned open chords and played 3-chord songs. I mean, that's what it sounded like. And oddly enough, there was actually a cover on it of a very obscure Rolling Stone song called Backstreet Girl. But fast forward a couple years later, and again, my kind of like saw the Beatles on Ed Sullivan moment. I was in a music store in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and before digital downloads and stuff, back in those days, albums used to have a scheduled release date. They'd sometimes be months in advance. There was an exact date when that album was going to be released. And I walked into a music store in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and I just happened to look up at the board, and there was the sign that said new releases this week, Social Distortion, self-titled. So that was my pick that day. That's what I got, and I went out into the parking lot at the mall, sat in the parking lot, put that disc in the car, and that was it. I heard the classic Mike Ness arranged 3-chord guitar intro, followed by a guitar solo, and then it was it. I heard the words. I've sung the blues for every broken-hearted, lovesick dream for you. And I was hooked. I can't explain it. That moment in that parking lot, sitting there, listening to this disc, just changed my entire musical outlook. Again, I can't explain it. It's just, ever since that moment, I've just been hooked. And it's just gotten better and
I'm expecting everyone to cut loose tonight. And it's great to see you all. Thank you. And how about for Flog and Molly, Double Makes 3, the Butcherettes. Wasn't doing on this side. You lost your party hat.
Carson, I can't talk because I was singing so loud.
Okay.
But what'd you think of your first Social Distortion concert?
I liked
Did you
it.
have fun?
Yeah, I liked it.
Oh my gosh. They sound better than ever. Honest to goodness. It's, I don't know. I can't talk because I'm losing my voice, but they sound better. Trust me, they sound better than ever. I mean, they can hold any band, they can hold their own too. I had an awesome time. I've waited 11 years for this moment to go to a Social Distortion concert here. Thank you. I love you. Unfortunately now, we gotta hit the road. All right, we'll see you next time. I mean, seriously.